Hello, my channel mammals. Hi, welcome to Yankee. We're on the aft deck on the transom right now of the ship. And, well, as with all videos, we love it if you'd like to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And that way you'd know when we're appearing. And the other thing is to put comments. That's my favorite part. I love that part. And as you'll notice, I talk to everybody by comment. The last thing is to go and visit Patreon. That's the area we're developing into a whole center of communication. We're looking forward to seeing you there as well. So now, if you are a bona fide, full, purebred channel mammal, you probably have already seen what we're just about to share with you. So if you saw the whole of the video called Respecting Vintage, Respect the Vintage, it was part 2 of building the proscenium arch, remember? Well, if you've seen that, then go play. We'll see you tomorrow with a new video. But for those of you who are the casual watcher and just getting to be familiar, you may not have watched the whole of that video, Respecting the Vintage. So this little nugget or cameo of that is important to us to share with you. And we thought you needn't have watched that whole video. That was like a 20-minute video. And this is just a tiny bit that I thought was important enough to share with you. So here we are. We're going to go off together and see just that one segment. It's about how to relate to your dwelling, no matter what or where in the world you are. We'll see you there. Great. Did you have a good lunch, my channel mammals? This is a good time to finish up my conversation with you. I was just thinking about what I started to say inside before we split for a break. About, I don't really like the word decorating. We think of something else. I'm not sure what it is, but the idea is, how do we embrace our dwelling, whatever that may be? And I feel that MacKenzie-Childs might have made a huge movement in history of dwellings and living in a good way, but also possibly in a little bit of a skew sense of things that might be putting undue pressure on society in certain places, at certain times. I mean, this isn't serious, but just something to think about, because it's something that I think is really fun to embrace. And then carry on just the way each of us are. And whatever that is the way to be. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm really trying hard to take away all plan, all design, all formula of periods of decoration. And that's hard to do, because when you think of history, there are movements throughout history, and each one is understood by its beginning, its middle, and its end. And everybody sees that as a certain period. And they all have names. Often they're named after either a king or a queen, or somebody who made things at that time. And so here we are. Here's what it is, that I think it's so important still to have the influence of the design of that period, the most powerful design change in that period in which you lived and embrace home, but at the same time to be very conscious of the dwelling in which you abode, in your abode. Like, don't let go of where it came from. It's past, or was it made today? And to embrace that todayness of it, and say, okay, this is the most modern thing of its time. And don't try to cover it up with a look that you cherish, but embrace the look and embrace the period of time and embrace your family, where you are in the world specifically, like what country, what's on the streets outside of you. And just let everything around you be part of your life. It's natural. Now, that is just saying another rule, isn't it? It's saying, embrace this. Don't forget that. Be sure you do this. And it's like, oh, more instructions. And I don't mean it that way. What I'm really meaning to say is to not embrace everything that comes into your thought. Don't be afraid. You don't have to embrace everything. You don't have to embrace anything. If that's what you have decided you feel most comfortable with. So I'm really just trying to loosen everything up so that you don't know where you're landing. I remember when we started MacKenzie-Childs, I was always trying to stir up tradition, stir up what the decorators were doing. I think I've mentioned this in another, and not to be disrespectful, but just to claim our ownness in everything. And I think that that's also where interior decorators have gone. They've gone to the place where they're there as a servant, not as a pedantic presence, but rather to glean, to listen, to see, to follow. What is it in the hearts and souls of this particular family that I need to help turn the lights on for? And so that's what I'm trying to say. I think everything in this whole movement is actually working together right now in that way. But not to fall back on the easy thing, but always to say, what is this of me? Is it of me? Just ask the question. And if it is, it is. And you stand for it. And you stand by it, whatever that is. and if it isn't, say, okay, I'm letting go. It doesn't mean everything has to go, but just let go of the burden. And so when sometimes people look at Yankee and they think, well, when you're finished, I want to see it because it's just going to be amazing. And I often think, oh gosh, I hope they're not disappointed, because I've learned to live along with this old ladyship, and I appreciate, there's no way I have the funds or the support staff that we once had to do whatever seemed right, to kind of make an environment more like this is where we are, and we have to appreciate it so that we're happy every day. Otherwise, we're always looking for something to come, and oh, if we could only get enough money to do this, and da-da-da-da-da. And really, let's just live, and let's live with what we have, and let's, be glad for it and enjoy it. And if there's a pole in the way, just work around it, or say, okay, here we are. This is the best of us. I'm just using it as a joke to let us all just appreciate things and try not to tear apart history, but embrace it. And it doesn't mean we have to copy it or implicate it in any way. Just let your individuality lead you. Your everyday lead you. And you will find that you are inventing as you go. And you won't feel stuck, and you also won't ever feel like you were caught in a period or in a movement. Like, oh no, the styles have changed. Oh, that's so 80s. Oh, that's so 90s. Oh, that's so MacKenzie-Childs. But let's just, and oh, that's so Yankee Ferry. Like, when I leave Yankee Ferry, I'm going to be moving into another situation, obviously, because we always have to dwell somehow, or not. But I'm going to, by gum, I'm going to get a kick out of whatever comes my way.